A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A+ English because it's so much fun. English education for you and everyone, so come along. Learn some grammar, learn a phrase, learn something new every day. Learn the A+ way. Hey, it's time to start the show. Are you ready? Good, 'cause here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A+ English.
Hi everyone, and welcome to A+ English. I'm Pat.
I'm Chicken.
And you guys are back at school now. You're going to have loads of different new classes, lots of things to learn. How better to learn all this stuff than by using a graphic organizer? That's what we're going to talk about today, but let's start with our warm-up question. Do you learn better by reading or by looking at pictures?
For me, I think I usually learn better when I have a picture. Because, there's a phrase, a picture is worth 1,000 words. It really works on me.
Okay.
Like when I was young, when I was little, not young, because I'm still young. Okay.
Yes.
When I was a student, I used to I like to draw what I actually learned. And draw it out so I can look at the pictures that I drew.
I would probably actually just say reading is fine with me. I do learn quite well by doing that. But if it comes to learning like lines for a play, I will learn best by acting them out.
Oh, yeah.
Like actually walking around, doing the moves, saying the lines. So for that kind of thing, I'm that kind of learner. But for school materials, I was fine just reading. I'd do a few kind of organizers, but not loads, not as many as other people I knew. But what can you do to help you learn? Let's check out today's article and find out more.
Drawing helps learning. Use these graphic organizers. Warm-up question. Do you learn better by reading or by looking at pictures?
Do you sometimes have a hard time putting knowledge and information together? Don't worry. Graphic organizers can help you out. Here are 4 common ones to use. Timeline. A timeline is a special tool to help you organize events in chronological order. You can start with a line, then put the time and important events on it. Timelines help you understand history well by showing you the order of events.
So the article starts with a question. It asks, do you sometimes have a hard time putting knowledge and information together? So what we mean there, knowledge is the things you know, and information is kind of like new stuff.
Yeah.
How do you sort of blend those? And were we good students at school?
I definitely wasn't, because I skip classes all the time. Sorry.
Goodness.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. And yeah, the difference between knowledge and information, we get information and then we digest it. It becomes the knowledge we have, right?
Yeah.
Were you a good student? You must have been.
Pretty good, but it did depend on the subject. Some subjects, if I was really into it, yeah, no problem. A's, plenty of them.
Oh, yeah.
If I felt like I'm only studying this, I'm only in this class because I have to be, then it'd be C's. It'd be sort of like, I'll do enough to pass and get an okay grade. But if it's not inspiring me, if it's the kind of class, okay, I gotta take French, I can't not take French, but I'm not gonna get a great grade in French. It wasn't really my thing.
Oh, yeah.
But if you struggle with information and knowledge and trying to organize them, the article says, don't worry. Graphic organizers can help you out. Here are 4 common ones to use. Okay, so sometimes we brainstorm things, right? You brainstorm maybe ideas for lyrics or songs. Do you ever do that?
I have a lyrics that works with me.
Okay.
So I just write down what I have inside of my brain.
Okay.
And then I write them down and I'll let him check and then he'll tell me which words I should change it to a better one.
But when you're just kind of coming up with those ideas, do you ever sort of make notes or do this or?
I actually don't because I think I have a lot of pictures inside of my head.
Okay, and it
so
just
that
spills
means
out.
I use pictures in the virtual pictures in my head.
I don't use too many pictures, but I do use kind of like sort of a note and then a line to like next. So sort of connecting the ideas in a sort of flow chart rather than a really big picture, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But all of these are good for organizing your ideas. So here's the first graphic organizer, a timeline. What's the Chinese for that
你的
one?
时间线.
Okay, the article explains a timeline is a special tool to help you organize events in chronological order. So chronological order is the order of time. You start with the earliest thing and you go through time until the latest thing. So why might that order be useful?
Well, it's useful because it lets you know the cause and effects
Right.
of the events that you're trying to show. So like for example, if you're making a resume, we usually make our work history into, we use the chronological order to
Absolutely,
to show our history.
Yeah, and in fact, history is a great word, and that is the kind of class where you're going to use this kind of organizer a lot. History class, right?
Yeah.
Because you will, okay, it starts here, then you go this to see what happens at the end. So here's how you make one. The article says you can start with a line, then put the time and important events on it. The article goes on to say, timelines help you understand history well by showing you the order of events. So now sometimes you might have to have two timelines and they sort of like come together at different points. And those are good because then you can kind of like connect, oh, this thing happened here and it had an effect a bit later on in this other timeline here, like for two different countries. But is history something you're interested in?
Well, I am, but I'm not really good when it comes to studying it. I'm interested when someone else tells me a story.
Oh, you like history in the form of a story,
Right.
so not just like a list of dates and events and stuff. You want to hear like the humans who are doing these things and why they're doing them.
Right.
Yeah, that is usually a lot more interesting to read. I did enjoy history at school. It was one of my favorite subjects.
Oh, wow.
It's just something that was just really interesting. You can have a lot of fun with it, learning about sort of filling in all these gaps about what has happened in the world forever. I'm quite good at remembering dates and events and things like that. But
You know, I have a really good memory in terms of English words.
Okay.
All the words, but I'm so bad when it comes to math formulas or history events.
There you go. Okay, let's take a short break now and we'll get back on our second graphic organizer when we return.
Story Map 5Ws. You can use a 5Ws graphic organizer to collect information about a story or event. It focuses on who, what, when, where, and why. You can make a chart with these questions and fill in the details. It can help you learn about news and stories.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's look at our second graphic organizer today, a story map, or 5Ws, which the Chinese is...
故事5W 故事图. So I think that's the when, why, what,
Where?
where, and why. No. And what?
Who?
Oh, and who, yeah.
Yes. And you would often add the how as well as that other question word.
Oh, okay.
So the article says you can use a 5Ws graphic organizer to collect information about a story or event. So we've covered those who, what, when, where, how, why. Which ones do you find the most interesting of those?
Definitely why. Because, you know, I like to learn about the reasons. I don't care about who, I don't care about when and where. I only care about why. So tell tell me why.
Okay. I mean, the story is going to be in the why. How, I think, is pretty cool because it's like, what do they do? Kind of thing. And I do find the who interesting because you get these people who emerge from sort of the page of history and you go, okay, who are these people?
I usually have a hard time remembering people's faces, people's names.
Okay.
So who isn't really that interesting to me.
No, everybody can have a different idea.
Yeah.
Well, as the article says, so this idea, this graphic organizer, focuses on who, what, when, where, and why. And it goes on to say, you can make a chart with these questions and fill in the details. It can help you learn about news and stories. So yeah, it's not just like historical events. It's like, okay, there's something in the news. What happened? Where? When did it happen? Who did it? Why did it happen? So it's great for kind of modern news stories too. Do you often read the news? Is that something you pay a lot of attention to?
If I have time, but not really that much, because sometimes they make me feel upset.
Yeah, that's
somehow.
True. Which news source do you normally use?
It depends on what kinds of a project I'm doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do tend to check the BBC news website
yeah, I know that.
basically every day just to kind of see what's going on in the world. But I will look at some of the Taiwan more local. There's a couple of English language Taiwanese news sources that just to check what's going on here in Taiwan, some local stories. Other than that, I mean, if I was researching for an article, maybe I'd go and look at CNN or maybe The Guardian as well, because it's free. Some of the other newspapers aren't free online, so sorry, you don't get any of my attention. I can't pay for it. So those are 2 graphic organizers. We've got another 2 to look at tomorrow. But right now, I'm going to hand over to Chickalin to explain some of today's word power magic box and more. Back soon for our review time.
所以 timeline 是一种很特殊的工具哦，在读书的时候可以帮助你去按时间的顺序组织事件。那我们一开始呢看到这个字特别的就是 special， 那我们通常会说特殊场合，英文就是 special occasions。比如说 he has a dark suit which he only wears on special occasions。那我们这个字special 当名词，我们在美式英文可以当特价商品的意思。比如说 Today's specials include children's t-shirts and shorts for only $3.99. 那我们看另外一个句子，我们把它当成形容词，回到特别的意思。Today is a special day for me. It's my birthday. 今天对我来说真是太特别了，是我的生日。所以怎么画生日线呢？我们当然就是画一条线开始嘛，就从一条线开始。那么英文的线叫做 line。那这一个字，比如说直线就是 straight line。那如果我们讲虚线，你就想象它是一块一块这样断掉，所以我们英文叫 dotted line。那么这个 line。我们平常比如说去买东西的排队也是这个字哦。比如说 wait in line like the rest of us, ma'am， 因为可能会遇到一些插队的妇人，不只是妇人，可能其他人也有可能，你就后面换一个称呼就好了。那如果是插队怎么讲呢？我们就可以说 cut in line， 但这是美式英文哦，英式英文通常会说 jump the queue。那 cut in line 我们可以说 the woman tried to cut in line, but I stopped her。那我们再看另外一个句子，这边就是当一条我们画出来的线。You can use a ruler to draw a straight line on the paper。你可以用尺在这一张纸上面画出一条直线。那么另外一个呢，我们学习到的是 5W 故事图。我们可以用这一个故事图来收集有关故事或者是某些事件的信息。所以像是 collect， 我们也有看到就是收集资料的意思。那么其实这个字也有慈善募捐的意思哦。比如说 The organization is collecting money for the poor。 这个组织呢是在为穷人募捐。那么平常如果有收集习惯的人也可以使用这个字哦。比如说 Bobby used to collect stamps。 Bobby 以前呢都会收集这个邮票。那我们看另外一个句子 Linda collected information about many plants for her science homework。Linda 呢，为了她的自然科学作业，收集了很多有关于植物的资料。所以呢，我们只要有问题，我们其实可以列出来，然后做一个图表，看起来就会比较清楚。Chart 就是图表的意思。 那我们有一个片语就是 off the chart. If something is off the chart, it's usually at a very high level or it's extremely popular or successful. 代表有很高水准的或者是很受欢迎的意思。比如说 The Japanese restaurant is totally off the chart. Have you been there? 那个日式餐厅真的太棒了，很多人喜欢去。你有没有去过呢？好，我们看另外一个句子哦。The teacher used a chart to teach the class about the planets. 老师用了一张图表教导学生有关行星的知识。所以呢，我们也看到 fill in the details， 就是在图表里面填入这些细节。那么 fill in 这个字就是有填写的意思。所以我们常常在 review time 玩的游戏啊 ，fill in the blanks 就是那个填空格嘛。那么我们另外这个字也有临时补缺或者是代替某一个人的意思，我们只要加上 for， 再加上那个要被代替的人就好了。所以比如说 Can you fill in for me for a few minutes? I have to run an errand. 你可不可以呢代替我一下？我要去做一件小差事。OK， 所以这是今天我们所有的单字。Don't forget to practice. And right now, let's go to our review time activity.
Review time.
So we're going to check out one of these graphic organizers and make it super simple. We're not going to do a very small drawing that's hard for you guys to see. So we've got the 5 W's here. We've got the what, when, where, who, and why. We can do them in whatever order we want. And we're going to cover something pretty simple, something a lot of people know about. Let's do the 9/21 earthquake.
9/21大地震，大家应该还没出生。
Okay, so what was it?
I was 4. I think I was asleep because my parents told me I was so deep asleep and they panicked.
Yes.
So they just held me and then
Ran out of the house?
Yeah, I think they ran out of the house together with my sister.
Okay.
But I was really little, so I had no memory of it.
Okay, well, let's learn more though. What was it?
It was an earthquake.
Yeah, big.
Very, very big one in Gigi.
Big earthquake.
Yeah, that
Apologies for my
happened.
bad writing, but you know, it's a big earthquake.
Okay.
When was it?
It was in 1998.
98 or 99?
Maybe 99.
I think it
because
was
I was 4 to
99.
5. Okay, 1999.
So, and of course on 9/21, September the
9/21.
21st. Okay, where?
Where in Gigi, as I said.
Okay, I remember there.
Nantou.
I've been to the temple there, but it affected, you know, a lot of Taiwan, obviously.
Yeah, a lot of people died.
Right, even up in Taipei. So there aren't many who's here because it's not a person who caused this. So for the who, that's where we could put information like how many people died or who did something about the problem afterwards, you know, who was working to solve the problem. Do you have any numbers or remember any people off the top of your head? That's what I don't know. Who was president at the time?
Who?
Yeah.
My angel.
No, it was way before mine. Is it Li Donghui?
Li Donghui? Okay.
Yeah, okay. Let's write him.
My goodness, I feel so embarrassed because like you know so much.
I'm kind of counting in my head. Okay, and why?
Why? Because of the earth movement.
Okay, right.
So it happens, and you know there's a lot of earthquakes in Taiwan. So
yeah, but I
happens a
think
lot.
one reason for it, which is maybe one we could draw a circle around, that's a good graphic thing. A lot of the earthquakes in Taiwan happen off the coast, don't they? They're like off in the ocean. But this one, like, bam, right in the land. So that means it's going to be a lot bigger, the aftershocks, because the water helps to take some of the force out of it. So the reason why this one was so bad, because it actually struck the land. So that is just a very simple example of how we can sort of organize this. And hopefully now, with this kind of idea, you'll remember some of those details.
And I remember who the president was.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's just an example. We're going to look at a few more graphic organizers tomorrow, and we'll see you then. Bye for now.
Bye.
Magic Box.
身为最强咒术师，我5条悟当然有很多精彩的冒险故事可以与你们分享。I have a lot of stories to share with you。但是呢，在跟你分享这些故事之前呢，要先来分享一下 to 不定词引导的片语要怎么当形容词啦。首先呢，我们要认识一下不定词 to， 注意到呢，它后面呢，如果要加动词呢，通常呢就是要加原形动词啦。那这样 to 加上原形动词的一个片语，它要怎么当形容词嘞？刚刚呢我已经讲完了，你有发现吗？I have a lot of stories， 我有很多故事。是什么样的故事呢？ To share with you， OK， 来跟你分享。所以 to 引导的记段呢，其实就是在形容 story 啦，就是呢这个可以跟你们分享的故事。我们呢可以多看几个句子，你就更知道怎么使用啦。像是呢我的学生刚刚训练完他说肚子好饿哦，先生老师 ，Do you have anything to eat？ 你有没有东西可以吃啊？这边的 to eat 就是形容 anything，OK， 可以吃的任何东西，或者是呢像我这种大忙人呢，到处都有需要帮助的人。I have a lot of places to go to， 我有很多要去的地方。To go to 就是呢形容这些 place 是一个什么样的地方，就是呢我要去的地方。那为什么这么忙呢？因为呢没有咒术师跟我一样强啊，没有人可以帮我分担这些工作啊。There's no one to share my work， 没有人可以帮我分摊。不过呢别担心哦，因为呢我是最强的。There's nothing to worry about， 交给我就对了。